Hey everybody, welcome back to Team Brothership. I'm your host, Mike. We're doing episode 5, or part 5, whatever you want to call it, of our Shining Force 2 Let's Play, and we are joined again by Mark, who had such a good time last time that he's told me he's doing every single one of these episodes from now on. That's
Oh my god. No, I did have a good time last time. It's nice to be back.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of your, as you discussed last time, this is like your game. So
I have a very soft spot for this game, definitely, and so it's a blast to be able to relive it.
Yeah. And we definitely didn't just mess up the recording and have a stilted intro because we're like trying to redo it over again. This is definitely
not at all.
Yeah, just first try. Although we were just talking beforehand about how like this stretch of the game is kind of like the blandest part of the whole game too, because it's just like 4 to 6 like very basic battles as you're just crossing
It's a
terrain.
lot of just like crossing terrain, fighting out in the fields, getting to the next town kind of thing.
I found bright honey. That's intelligence boosting stuff, right?
Bright honey.
I
thought it was MP, but I could
maybe, yeah,
that.
That would make sense. It's not going to tell me what it does. That's fine. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's one problem I have with this game is that the items, either you know what they do or you risk totally messing up your level up strategies, because you don't get that many of those boosting items in the game.
No, it is a lot like Dragon Quest in that way, that like you come across a handful of them and you really want to like use them efficiently.
I actually wonder if the original instruction book had descriptions of those items. I can't remember. It might have.
It must have, right? Because I would assume that's why a lot of this stuff doesn't have in-game descriptions, because they were...
Yeah.
Well, they both assumed that you had the instruction manual, and that was also kind of like soft copy protection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To make sure that, like, you didn't steal it from somebody or something. Oh no, the cave. Well, that stinks.
I'll never forget. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, you. That's the worst.
Yeah. No.
I was going to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game and how the copy protection on that was entering a bunch of random numbers before you played. I had it for PC.
Oh yeah.
And within 2 weeks of buying the game, we lost the book.
Oh, yeah.
And at that time, there was just no way to get that information. Like, you couldn't look it up. You couldn't go on the internet. It was just like, so basically we had a game that was unplayable that I, like, desperately wanted to play. And I had just played enough of it that I knew it seemed cool. But then it was just snatched away from me.
That's terrible. Although wasn't that... The PC version, wasn't that... It was similar to the Konami NES version, but it was like real janky, I thought I heard.
I don't know what the differences were. I mean, like, in terms of the visuals, and I mean, as far as I got in the game, which was not very far, it seemed pretty similar. But I don't know either of those versions too well, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be asking you since you just told me that you didn't play it because you lost the copy protection.
It still hurts.
We were at work the other day. We were talking about how one of my colleagues' children, actually, where am I going? Am I going north? I'm going north.
South.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think you want to go south and to the right.
All right. Well, there's a cave. We go in there later, right? We get a raft or something, I think.
Yeah, eventually.
What's this? Sounds important. Yeah, we were talking about one of my coworkers. Her kid lost her favorite stuffed animal, in the park or something. So she actually went around town putting up like missing signs about this like stuffed animal to try to find it again. And I guess somebody did and returned it. And everyone was making jokes about like how silly that was. Where like I've definitely thought back to times from childhood. Like there's still stuff that I lost as a little kid that like I think about it and I'm just like, damn it.
I know that really sticks with you, right? And stuff was just kind of so much more like valuable back then because you didn't have Amazon. You couldn't just randomly produce things out of the ether.
Right. Yeah.
You had like, and you got like one game every, I don't know how, I mean, I don't know, year for me. I don't know. You probably, maybe you got more, but games were few and far between at that age.
Yeah, no, it was pretty similar. I mean, maybe we did, my parents were like, they were bargain hunters and they would go to like yard sales and stuff. And I had a friend growing up whose mother was like, it ran a daycare. So she was a real like invested yard sale hunter, you know, because she always had to have new stuff for the kids. So we would get a lot of like, wasn't even paying attention to where the enemies were. Okay. So we would get a lot of like used games. But yeah, no, I mean, it definitely like when something got damaged or you got a stinker, it was like much more of a problem.
Right.
You know, you think about like all the garbage games that you spent so much time playing as a kid because like that's what you had.
Yeah, and you would spend exactly like I probably spent 50 hours as a kid playing Where's Waldo on the NES because I had that game and it was terrible. It's like objectively really one of the worst games ever.
Yeah, it's really bad. And there's no replay value with it either because it's just like you find Waldo and you're done.
And like the music like makes you, it like goes right into your sinus cavities and makes you want to you want to die. It's really bad.
It's very repetitious.
Yeah.
I'm being intentionally more aggressive this time around because I feel like, especially with these battles being kind of boring, if I take a little bit of a beating, as long as we finish them faster, that's probably fine.
Makes sense.
Here comes Kiwi.
That's wise.
I've had to remember for the last week that he was dead so that I revived him before this battle. Yeah, I'm just going to have Chester tank. We'll see if we can... Oh, he's got the spear. That's right. That is actually a good idea, though. We'll get rid of that archer. Yeah, I had kind of a similar experience because my parents were real bargain hunters. So my dad would get like remaindered PC games every once in a while, and I remember he got us a copy of that game, Humans, I think it was called, which was like the cave people. And he bought it, and then it ended up that like the computer that we had wasn't good enough to run it, so I lent it to a buddy of mine because I was like, well, at least someone will get some time out of this. And he was somebody that had a lot of those older PC games with all the copy protection and the sheets and the manuals and everything. And it was always fine, so I didn't really worry about it. And then like he ended up losing the copy protection for that, so I've never played that game because...
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty brutal back then. I mean, I understand why they did it, but it could really just completely destroy the game for you.
Yeah. I mean, games were so much easier to duplicate back then, I think, but...
Yeah.
All right, here we go with Slade. He got a new weapon while we were setting up. I went around and grabbed some new gear for Slade.
Okay.
Guess it didn't make that much of a difference, though.
He's upgraded to a butter knife.
Yeah. It's all right. It'll all pay off.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you don't mind those weak early game characters if there's a payoff.
Right, yeah. We definitely, editing the previous episode, we definitely spent a lot of time talking about, like, the characters that were worth the investment versus those that were absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah, this is another batch of, like, We've been fighting these guys for the last few battles now, so there's...
Yeah, this battle's not much to worry about. It's mostly just getting across the battlefield, honestly.
Yeah, those dwarves are new, and I'm a little concerned that this guy is just going to sit here the whole battle, and I'll have to find some way to go get him. You made a good point last time about just like how big some of these battlefields are, and like the battle is often less about dealing with the enemies and just about like crossing in a timely manner.
Right, and I'm not sure that's the best thing. I think it actually works for the feel of the game because it feels like epic and like you have to cover a lot of ground. But in terms of strategic battles, it's not always the most interesting.
Right, yeah.
I mean, there are those games where like, and it happens less in Shining Force, but like in Final Fantasy Tactics, there are some maps that are so constrained.
Yes.
And that adds a lot of challenge and can be really interesting.
Yeah, I actually was... At some point, I will do a Final Fantasy Tactics Let's Play, because that's another just classic game that I'm a big fan of. But one of the things that's like made me kind of put off doing it is, all right, is she attacking him or is she, oh yeah, like an idiot again. Is just like some of those early battles are so difficult, and just trying to think about like the pacing of things. It's like, can I get one episode in the first episode? Can I get us up to the slums so then I can grind off screen? Because like you said, that suddenly you're fighting in this really tight quarters, and there's a lot of like really strong enemies, and you have to really make every move count. Because if you don't, they're just going to kill you.
Yeah, right. And that, I always kind of liked that in strategy games, but it's definitely less of a feature, certainly in this one. I mean, Shining Force 1, I think if I remember, does have one or two battles like that, like the one where you're fighting that robot guy. What the heck is his name? Oh, man. Where you're all kind of really close at the beginning of the battle. I can't remember it now.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
But anyway... this I mean, I sort of it does feel like this game is very sweeping, and you do a lot of walking around the world too, which is kind of a nice use of the same sets, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
But it does, and I guess it increases the amount of gameplay too, which would have been a selling feature for a game like this.
Yeah, it just
takes longer to beat, you know.
This guy's trying to sneak up on Slade. He's gonna come in behind all of my like wizards and things if I'm not careful. Oh, nice.
So Slade comes in clutch.
Yep.
Why do you have the sandals on her?
Because I just needed somewhere for them to go. They're not even... They're like... You look at them, they're like slippers. They're like fluffy bedroom slippers.
Oh, I don't... You're talking about the actual picture of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the inventory, they're like...
You can't see them on her when she's in battle, right?
Oh, no, yeah.
Because that was actually one of the things that's cool about this game, is that the equipment in the battle screens actually does change.
It does, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not like super involved. Like every... do I want QA to get the experience for this one kill? Whatever. At least still use it. Yeah, it's not like radically different, but like everybody does have a few different sprites that they use for like the weapon, the weapon animations.
Yeah, there's like certain weapon classes. There are a couple of unique weapons for a few characters too.
Yeah,
that have their own kind of graphics.
Does the samurai sword that Slade gets, the special one, does that get a unique sprite, or is that just like the other samurai swords?
I can't remember now. I'm not sure. I know that there's a couple swords for Bowie that get unique Graphics, like I think a couple of those mithril swords, like he gets one. There's one called the Levanter, which is like a blade, like fire sword. I think that gets a unique graphic.
Okay.
It's one of the mithril weapons. It's like not the best one, but it's up there.
Yeah, as I always say during every battle, these guys down in the corner suddenly realize they're about to miss the battle if they don't start moving.
Yeah, his whole job is to sit there and then cast Blaze on you at an inopportune time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting that the bats have Blaze in this the new bats have Blaze. Ugh, that is really annoying. Ugh, yeah, so now I want to, like, not line up all of my guys perfectly.
Honestly, you have enough health that you'll probably be okay.
Yeah. I just, it's... yeah, there we go. Damn it. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But... Oh no!
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's a choice.
I actually did some damage.
That's not... I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever... As a guest, like... Can he get killed? Like, I mean, clearly he can. Is that going to impact the battle at all?
No, yeah, he can get killed and it won't affect the battle. And he resurrects because he's a phoenix too.
Oh yeah, that's right. You never have to like restore.
You don't have to like pay the priest.
Oh come on! That's so annoying. Because he's got enough speed that I don't know if I'll be able to get that bat with anybody else. Yeah. Oh no, I guess May can get him.
There you go.
Yeah. Again,
May is like always the cleanup because she's got the range,
right?
Especially later on in the game when she gets the 4 tile range.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of sucks that you get her before the other archers because she's just like better than them.
Yeah, I mean, even if you work on those other archers, they never really develop very strongly.
Yeah. He does hit pretty
weak.
Hard. Yeah. I mean, I think I end up using one of them just because the range is handy. Mm-hmm. I've been making fun of this guy, but he is actually being smart because he is going to come in around the same time as like these other 4.
Yeah.
Which none of those guys are particularly scary, but I don't really want to have them all show up at the exact same moment.
Does that witch have a ring? I keep thinking there's a battle that
comes I think she does, now that you mention that.
Maybe you can check her. I don't know if it's this battle or a different battle, though.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, try to get that. You might have to clear an inventory slot, though.
I think everybody... I actually, again, before as we were setting up, I went around and kind of did that. So I think everybody's got enough room that whoever gets the final blow will be able to take it.
Okay.
How close are these guys? These 2 won't show up yet, but these 2 are probably going to move into range next turn.
You are kind of in spell attack formation here.
I know, yeah, and if I move her out, she'll be in range, but I want to see if I can get rid of that bat. Because the bat... And I think arrows do a little bit more damage to flyers in this game. I think that works that way. We might be able to get him with... that wasn't impressive.
I mean, she is just a priest, after all.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you expect your parish priest to do much better?
We'll have to tell... maybe this is more of an off-air conversation, but I'll have to tell you the story about how... Oops. Oh, that's a whole lot of nothing. I'll have to tell you the story about that... actually my parents' parish priest was involved in some massive Navy scandal, like fairly recently.
Wow. Okay.
So maybe he would be able to really throw down.
It sounds like it. Yeah. Maybe he's got a high attack stat.
Yeah. All right. Now we're this.
Come on, Peter. Oh man.
I mean, he hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I don't know if he's going to survive that next round, though. All right.
Doesn't seem likely.
I think I can get rid of the bat at least. So, and the bat's magic is the worst. He's the only one who can multi-target spells. So, I think we've avoided the major problems.
Mm-hmm.
And they do. I mean, I spent a while talking about this on one of the earlier episodes, so hopefully I wasn't making it up. But the stat gains that you get for your party members are somewhat randomized, right?
Yeah, they definitely are. In fact, like you can do. Some people play this game in kind of a cheaty way, where every time you level up, if you don't like the stat roll, you like save state and reset.
Right. Yeah.
Which, because like you can get 3s and 4s and stuff.
Yeah.
For some of those stat boosts, but it's that's not fun.
Yeah, and that does seem like unbelievably tedious as well.
Yeah, exactly. But you could try to game the system like that if you wanted to, max out your levels.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll definitely do. I should have beforehand used a few of the stat boosty items because I will cheese those.
Yeah. I think that it's best to wait until after you promote your guys to use those items because I think that those levels are reset when they're promoted.
Some of them are, but I don't know if all of the stats do. Like the movement one, I know you don't want to use until after promotion.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the other ones.
Yeah, I think because your stats do change a little bit. Let's see, get rid of her because that should get us that ring. I mean, you probably do. All right, we did get the ring, so that's nice. Good. You probably do lose like some of the bite because your stats do change a little bit. But I think in overall, like it's probably still fine to use them.
Yeah, I tend to save them just because it helps to balance out in the end game if you have a character that you need to like beef up.
Peter's about to like cross counter with this. Like he killed the bat, and then he's gonna die from poison.
Aw, that's just sad. Poor guy.
That was kind of awesome. They're all ganging up on the hero. It's almost like they know if he dies, the battle's over.
It's all right. Kiwi will save the day.
Yeah, this little turtle man. He does have like really bizarre design when you look at it. Like I know he's sort of like this game's version of what's his name, Yogurt.
Yeah.
But can I not cast magic? There we go. But like he's even more weirdly designed than Yogurt, I feel like.
Yeah, he's like a cross between a turtle and like a dragon, sort of. And then when he evolves, he kind of turns into some kind of Godzilla type.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like a weird monster movie monster.
Yeah, he looks kind of like a cross between Gamera and Bowser. Ooh.
Yeah,
All right. This is getting a little dicey.
Oh God.
I know. All right. Let's quickly dispatch this fellow, and hopefully Sarah's.
Oh my gosh! If you lose this battle, I just
after all of us just like
slap.
Yeah, babbling through all of this.
Oh my gosh! All right, come on. We got it. Here we go. All right, you gonna.
Does he have Does he have
a medical herb?
Yeah, he might have a medical herb. And I'm definitely trying. Oh, he's got the healing drop, which is kind of expensive.
And yet...
Yeah, it's less expensive than having to redo the battle, though.
Right. Worth it. Even though you're probably going to have no problem dispatching this guy.
Yeah, it's going to be like... Sarah's turn was next, so...
Yeah.
We do have to level her up a little bit more. She's starting to slightly slip behind.
One interesting difference between this game and Tactics is that you can see the turn order in Tactics, right?
Right, yeah.
Whereas in this game, it's a little bit unpredictable, and it's affected by, obviously, I think it's their agility stat.
Yeah. So you can get... now, who do I... You can get, like, some people do just get more turns than others.
Yeah. But actually, also, there's something with bosses where they get 2 or 3 turns for your 1 turn as well.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give the power ring to Slade for the time being.
Oh.
Probably not permanently, but that'll help him. That'll help him keep pace with everybody for a little while. All right. Yeah, that would have been really bad if we lost that fight. Is there anybody? Can we give Jaha another medical herbs? I think some... Oh yeah, Kazan has 2, so...
Well, we made quick work of those suckers.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's just another 4 more battles like that until we get to any place more interesting. Keep going... Oh, there's some weird thing like... Isn't there another mithril around here? You have the mithrils kind of memorized, right?
Not all of them. They're... Oh gosh, I can't remember where it is. You're gonna come back here many times,
right,
so
yeah, I mean,
you don't get it now. Back. It's not a big deal.
God, there's just like so much...
There aren't really too many mithrils that you can permanently... miss. Right. I think there might be 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think there's one like on a bridge somewhere around here. It's over there. Not much. And you're right, Peter did revive himself.
Yep, he's the man.
He is really good once he actually does... Am I missing something? Where the hell is the... Where's the town that I'm looking for? Or am I looking for a cave? We dead-ended. The game glitched out. Maybe it's a cave.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Head all the way to the left and see. It might not actually be here.
Did I go the wrong way? That looks very conspicuous right there, but...
There we go. To the left. Down. Come on, there's something. There we go.
Okay. All right. Yeah, just a weird... There we go. All right. I knew I was looking for... Oh, no. Hobgoblin. No.
And it's me!
Don't wander off, dude. Me, the hot. He basically did say exactly what you did. This is going to be one of those annoying fights where, like, you can't see everybody right. Great. All right, what do we got here?
I believe that
if
you use the map, you can see everybody's position too.
That's true. But the fact that the light I mean, this is a little bit annoying, but the fact that the light follows the reticule kind of takes the bite. Oh, on a treasure chest. That's exciting. And actually, now that you mentioned it about the witch with the ring, now is the part of the game where we do want to like search all of the enemies before we start killing people to make sure that we get all of the drops.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple that are easy to miss.
Yeah. And it's mostly like good stuff too. I mean, I think some of them drop like healing items and things that are not particularly important, but a lot of them drop gear. Although, again, with going off of the idea of this game being very like compassionate, isn't it that anything you miss then will like show up in the shops later?
I think so. Yeah, everything that. Yeah, it comes up in like the deals section of the shop.
Right. Yeah, and you'll have to buy it, which is annoying, but because it tends to be really expensive if I'm remembering correctly. But you can't ever like permanently miss anything.
Yeah, the only way you can lose an item like that is actually if you use it in battle and it breaks.
Right.
Which can happen. Usually, it breaks a little bit, and then you can have it repaired. But sometimes it just breaks completely on one use, which is frustrating.
Right. Ugh, there's a big bottleneck, right? It would be smart of us to go around, because that... Yeah, let's go around. We're doing this the stupid way. Again,
this is a cool battle, though. You have to...
Yeah.
It's got a neat... It's sort of thematically cool, and it looks good.
In this one... Sorry, I keep miscounting. Okay, so he doesn't have that much range. In this one area, this game is superior to Final Fantasy Tactics. Those like deep dungeon battles in Final Fantasy Tactics are wretched.
Those are so bad. I know.
Yeah, they're just like outright terrible.
They're difficult and time consuming and painful.
Yeah, and then if you want to get all of like the good gear, I'm gonna send everybody around. We're not gonna play these fools game. And if you want to get like all the gear, and like most of the best gear from the entire game is in that dungeon, you have to like play them repeatedly and do all of this other really annoying stuff.
Yeah,
like you have to set up your guys exactly the right way, otherwise the treasure won't show up, and then you have to like save scum the treasure locations, and it's just terrible.
Yeah, no, I lose interest in that kind of like micromanaging stuff that happens at end game if it's not necessary to do,
Yeah, a little bit of that for like a handful of treasure is fine, but like when it becomes there's what, like 13 levels to that dungeon, and they're so long. And there's like 4 pieces of rare gear on every level, and then like the boss also has a spell that you can get from him if you do it the right way, and like and there's like a guest character in the battle that like will join your party unless he dies, and then he won't, and it's terrible.
I haven't played that game in a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be another Let's Play eventually. I kind of have this like sneaking suspicion that they're going to remake that, because Matsuno has said a few like kind of cryptic things on Twitter about like a Final Fantasy Tactics remake.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Like on the order of like the Final Fantasy VII remake, where it would be like completely redone kind of thing. Not just a reissue.
I wonder if it would be more like the Tactics Ogre remake, where like keep it like structurally the same, but like maybe add in a few things, maybe clean up some of the graphical effects. Did you ever end up playing the Tactics Ogre remake? I know you.
I played Tactics Ogre for the PSP.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
and I just didn't get super into it.
It's definitely like I guess I did end up enjoying it a lot, but that remake is very odd. They made some very good decisions and some very bad decisions, I feel like.
I in general I kind of struggle with playing long games on handheld.
Oh, okay.
I just prefer console, so even though there were a bunch of cool tactics games for the PSP, which I started a few of them, I didn't really stick with it. I mean, because I also played a game called Jeanne d'Arc.
Oh yeah,
which was kind of cool. It was very tactics-like as well, but didn't stick with it.
I was hoping she could finish him off. Oh well. Let's see. Do I want to have her heal?
They really did come up with the best possible sound effect for those shoes.
Yeah.
It's just like bloop, bloop, bloop.
I've heard that sound effect before too, so I'm wondering, like, I wonder if that's like a silly reference to something else.
I don't know.
Alright, now Slade's doing quite a bit of damage. I think these folks weren't prepared for my go around the terrible bottleneck tactic.
Right. They didn't get caught in our noob tunnel.
Yeah.
I spent weeks carving that out of the rock.
Yeah, to just like tunnel through the bare rock. All right, although this one bat, I can see him. Oh, there's two of them. They're kind of sneaking. Ooh, and we are within range, so we gotta tank them off a little bit. This definitely has Kiwi gets killed by magic written all over it.
Yeah. One thing this game has over Shining Force CD is that there's a bunch of battles where you have to get the treasure in battle. Because,
yeah.
Yeah, in Shining Force CD, there's no towns and no exploration. Right. It's all just it's basically battles and shopping. So if you miss it in battle, you're never getting it.
Yeah, there's definitely I think they did a really good job of remaking there it comes, of remaking the Game Gear games to feel like updated and like not lacking, but there are a few little areas where you can feel like these were originally handheld games.
Yeah, I actually like Shining Force CD. It's a lot of fun, but it feels like Shining Force Lite because it's just missing. It's almost like the bare bones like gameplay structure without all the kind of exploration aspects.
Right. Oh man, Peter's Leroy Jenkinsing it.
I showed that to my son.
Oh, the Leroy Jenkins clip.
Got to learn about culture, son. Yeah. Time to learn about Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah. You've got this like gigantic library of classic literature and world music, and your house is probably full of like pianos and organs and things. But the Leroy Jenkins video.
But Leroy Jenkins is memes 101.
Yeah. Oh man, this is totally off topic, but we need to make these episodes interesting, so we'll talk about something related to completely unrelated. Years ago when I was in graduate school, the semester that I was finishing, I was working on these independent projects with my advisor, and she as I was wrapping them. Oh damn, she needs to heal Chester. As I was wrapping them up, my last semester, my advisor was like, "Oh, you did a really good job on these, and your timing is good because I'm actually leaving the school after this year. I'm moving away, so I wouldn't be able to be your advisor anymore." And I was like, "Oh wow, okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad for your." Ooh, that's gonna be a stinker. But I'm glad for your opportunity. So I was in grad school at the same time as a friend of mine who was a semester behind me, and we both had the same advisor. So I was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, you might want to talk to Professor so-and-so because she's like leaving the program, so you're going to need another advisor. And he was like, oh, yeah, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, that's important. So he went and he sent her an email and was like, oh, hey, Mike just told me you're leaving the program. I'm sorry to see you go. Do you have somebody else that you could recommend be my advisor? And she emailed him back, and her whole email was just, oh, come on. Her whole email was just like, oh, hey, here we go.
Nice one.
You can see his stats are pretty badass too.
Yeah, he gets crazy, like just stat boosts at the end of his level ups and stuff.
Yeah. So her whole email back with him was just like, oh, any of these people were fine. And she just sent him a link to like the department's faculty page.
Oh.
And so anyway, that whole thing happened. And then, like, the following year, we were hanging out, and he was talking to me about, like, his upcoming classes, and he said, yeah, so, I was, like, how when you would sign up for classes, like, sometimes the instructor would change between when you signed up and when the program actually, like, stuff happens, especially for some of, like, the more basic classes. So he had signed up for something, and it had a particular instructor, and then that person kind of disappeared, and it was like undetermined whoever the instructor was going to be. And then a few weeks later, it changed back to our old advisor, who, as far as we knew, had like left the program and moved to another part of the country. And he was like, oh, that's a little weird. So as it got closer to the start of the semester, nobody had posted anything in the the syllabus or anything yet. He didn't know what books he had to get or any of that kind of stuff. So he finally emailed her and was like, oh, hey, professor, nice to see you back again. He's like, I noticed like the syllabus hadn't been updated recently, and I just want to get my books ahead of time. Can you let me know what the class is going to be involved with? And she never responded to him, and he was kind of annoyed. So finally he was just like, what is going on here? So he just went online to like look her up and to see if he could kind of trace what had happened with her career. And one of the first things that he found was her Twitter feed, and her last tweet, which was like 3 days before this. The class was called Social Media and Libraries.
Okay.
And her last tweet, which was like less than a week before the start of the class, was just, help, does anybody have any reading material about social media and libraries?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
As a fellow academic, I feel like you could appreciate that.
Yes, definitely. I would never post that on Twitter, though.
No, exactly. Like, what are you doing? Oh no, Peter, look out.
I was wondering where that story was going, and if the Twitter post was going to be Leroy Jenkins. Because that would be a way to go out in a blaze of glory. She Leroy Jenkins to academia.
Yeah. Yeah, just show up completely unprepared and teach an entire semester's worth of classes just like off the cuff.
Right, exactly.
That's how to do it, I guess.
That's the way to roll.
Yeah, I realized that was a long rambling story, but I felt like the payoff was worth it.
Definitely, yeah.
And there's not much of anything else going on in this battle. I wonder if this goblin is he made such a he trash talked us so much. I wonder if he's suddenly like, oh, this has gone poorly.
Like, where's the exit?
As we've just he is heading that way.
That's true. He's trying to make a quick escape.
As we just steamrolled his troops. Oh, she's actually using her magic for once. That's interesting. That's it. Ooh. Oh wow, she hit him kind of hard. You have to
get within 3 blocks of him. He's like, I have a family.
Yeah.
Please let me go. Nice. You just steamrolled these guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, this was like nothing. We're not even really getting much experience for them. Clearly, we've somewhat out-leveled these folks.
Yeah.
God, and Peter's just like, after essentially sitting out, it was like he was just hanging back until somebody hit him, and then he's just flown into a berserker rage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the AI on Peter is really interesting. He's designed to play it cool until someone ruffles his feathers, so to speak. And then he goes nuts.
He just gets
incredibly
aggressive.
Phoenix jokes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Hobgoblin.
Uh-oh. He's going.
He might actually... Oh, okay. Right, fair enough.
Peter's just going to solo this boss. The two AI are going to just take each other out.
Is Peter's attack bubbles, or is it a sonic attack? How do you interpret that?
I always took it as like a sonic, like that's his like Phoenix call.
Okay.
Like
but that's not really a thing that phoenixes have in mythology, is it? Or is it?
No.
Like a shriek? Do they have a shriek or something?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's just they needed some, like, what was the... I think it would have been difficult to animate, like, him, like, clawing at the enemy or, like, shooting fire at them or something. Yeah, I think they were just kind of, like, out of ideas.
Yeah, okay. Because I think his upgraded attack is just... Does he just, like, hit them or something? I can't remember now.
Yeah, he swipes his wings at them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, like, shockingly impressive or anything.
Right.
Well, that's
nice.
that. Let's get this treasure and get out of here.
Treasure.
Silver tank. Is that the thing that turns archers into gunners?
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those special items that you can use on Janet or Elric or whoever, I think.
Although gunners are actually, like, kind of worse than archers, right?
Kind of. I mean, it's not a very good class. Yeah, I remember using Road, who's a brass gunner, in my first playthrough, and I thought he was really good, but he really isn't that good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really used Road.
Oh, there we go. We're at Mount Volcano.
Is the I feel like there's another thing over here that I'm missing, but I could just be...
Mithril? There might be some up top there in one of those nooks, but
don't want to accidentally wind up in another battle.
Yeah, you have to like look up the mithril locations because they're just impossible to find.
Yeah, they're very. It's. I feel like in a lot of games from this era, you could, as long as you like kind of explored everywhere, you would find most of what you were looking for. But this one in particular, I feel like you really have to like look it up because you're just not going to find things. Everything's like in some weird little crack that looks just like every other crack or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why they made you call 900 numbers to find, to get all the secrets back then, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I had totally forgotten that status effects don't end after your battle. Like that if you get poisoned,
right,
you have to heal that at the church or you'll carry it into the next battle, which is kind of wacky.
Mm-hmm.
It's another centaur.
Sweet.
Wow, that guy was a real jerk. He was like really impeding commerce.
Yeah, that hobgoblin. Something.
I don't know what this guy's about.
The centaurs will not trade with the South. I will see to that.
Hey!
Nice.
It's our buddy.
Portrait character is always good.
Yeah. He's lamenting not being hairy enough.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
We've all been there.
Alright. We're like going up the mountain here, right? We're not actually stopping here for much of anything. Oh, there's a dead turtle over there.
This is kind of a waypoint,
Right.
this town.
Ooh, new rods.
In fact, there's another battle going up the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll have to shuffle her gear around a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to pause the recording for a second just so I can play with everybody's gear. All right. So let's see. There's some kind of ailing turtle creature over here. Jeez. I'm just trying to help you, buddy. Oh, I thought we killed him for a minute.
Test you. Oops.
Well, that was vague.
Vague and cryptic.
I mean, I guess so.
I mean, it seems okay. I like the fact that he said clank clank.
Right,
It's
yeah.
not represented in like brackets or anything. He just like, it's like you walk up to him, he's like clank clank.
Yeah, yeah. He's like speaking along. It's like who is it? Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers, like speaking out as she's like flip as she's flipping the burgers over or something like that. All right, I guess we'll head up the mountain. Like you said, this is just kind of a stopgap, a waypoint. There's one human in this town.
I think he's the mayor, which raises questions.
Yeah, that's some very there's some interesting racial subtext going on if that's the case.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe he just has a maybe he just has a thing for centaurs.
Yeah.
Maybe his wife is a centaur.
Yeah, that's true. Like I shouldn't be talking like that. You never know. Oh God, what's going on here? This guy's alarmed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, this fellow. He's badly injured. No. Oh, you're right. He is the mayor.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't have they decided to use the mayor sprite because they didn't have an appropriately mayoral looking beast man or centaur.
I like the idea that in this world all mayors look the same. It's like once you take on the job of mayor, you instantly like gain 30 pounds and your hair turns gray.
That's like that podcast, My Brother and Me, when they were talking about how like as soon as you become a stepdad, your name just automatically becomes Ron.
Oh, I guess the battle is... Oh, no, it is here, right? I'm wondering if it was on the way down, but it's on the way up, of course.
There's like scorch marks all over the ground.
Oh, our old friend.
It's the Gizmo.
I think this is a relative of the Gizmo. This is like a mist cloud or something.
Yeah, yeah. Because we're going up, it's like the Birdman town at the top, right?
Yeah.
So apparently Volcanon has threw down with some people who are some monsters who are trying to come up the mountain.
Right.
Stupid polka kids. Wow, it's some strong language.
Indeed.
So I don't. Oh, there's an upgraded form of the wizard here. Oh, he's a cleric actually.
This is a cool battle because the terrain is something we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And The background is quite nice. You see the mountains back there, and then I think also we haven't heard this music yet. This track, which is one of the more interesting battle tracks of this game.
Yeah, it does sound a little more interesting. And it's funny too because this looks like this should be like to scale battle, like we're fighting over these little hills. But then if you go over here, the town itself is like tiny.
That's
which
right.
Kind of
yeah,
implies that this is still like we're still on the field. Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, the way that they represent towns, they're always like shrunk down.
Yeah.
Like the castles and towns and stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, the sense of scale is a little bit hard to fathom.
Like you said though, it's a little more like the music feels a little more epic and intense. It's been a little more,
I think you get the feeling that the stakes have been raised here. This isn't
Right.
just another like slog through the
Right.
woods kind of battle.
Right. Even though it is. These guys are not going to be that bad.
No, yeah.
Although, speaking of which, we're almost at the hour mark, and it's definitely going to take more than 5 minutes to get through this battle. So, whoa, I totally forgot that guy was there. Which is probably the point. Do you remember? We'll wrap up in a second, but do you remember the in Final Fantasy Tactics? There's one battle, and I think it's like outside of Ryovane's castle, where you're like fighting across this drawbridge, and there's like knights across the drawbridge, and then there's like there's archers up top, and some different things like that. And there's a guy, but there's a knight with float boots that's like hiding in a crook in the moat, and like it's clearly a trap. Like you are not intended to notice this guy. And like so he just comes like float walking out from the side of the moat, like partway through the fight when his turn comes up, and it's supposed to kind of throw you, and it does. But it's like he also is not in any way, shape, or form like capable of changing the flow of battle by himself, because he's just one knight and he doesn't have any other like special abilities or anything.
Yeah, it's like there was like, they were all having dinner before, and they like they were drinking too much ale, and they were like, "Hey, let's see if Johnny wants to put on those float boots. We'll send him out in the moat to see if he can do some damage." It's like, Johnny, give it a shot, man. Go out there. I don't know, dude. I don't know if I could. Put on the boots, Johnny.
or better yet, like you said, they were having dinner when the castle came under attack, and so he just like ran out wearing what he was wearing at the time, which just they were messing around.
He
with
just
him.
wears float boots like around the castle. They're like Air Jordans.
Yeah,
just like checking.
yeah, they're like those sneakers.
Oh my god, dude, it's like float boots. Oh crap, I gotta go fight in these.
Yeah, they're like those shoes that we had as kids, where you squeeze the basketball to pump them up.
Yeah,
that didn't
I like
actually
that.
make.
But
any
yeah,
difference.
that is cool. That like I like that they kind of just stuck him out there to throw you off. But this game does that a lot, where there's like, it's often a flying character in some spot where it's kind of hiding or just a little bit off in the distance where you don't notice it right away.
Yeah. No, it was interesting because it was like they clearly planned for an ambush, but the choice that they made was not one that made any kind of actual difference. Right. Anyway, so long and short of it is we'll wrap up here, I think. Next episode, I think things will start getting a bit more exciting. We'll get a few more party members, and I think we maybe start to run into like the devil characters, I think, perhaps. I'm not 100% on that one. But
yeah, it might be. At least that like kind of second act of the game is coming into focus now.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks for joining me again. Hopefully we'll be able to keep doing this in some way, shape, or form, whether it's occasional episodes or what have you.
Sounds good, man. I had a blast. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. So, and thank you all for listening, and hopefully you're having fun as well. So, until next time, I have been Mike with Team Brothership. I don't know if you want us to have a sign-off or anything.
I am I'm Mark, and I'm just here for the nostalgia factor and the enjoyment and hanging out with Mike. And but anyway, yeah, it's been fun.
All right. We'll see you real soon, everybody. Have a great week.